Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGF channel. Stidle24 here. You remember me from last map, but we're bringing in a new voice to bring in that hot analytical side of everything. Tropic Theory, welcome.
Oh, how's it going, guys?
We're doing pretty good over here. We've got a bit of a banger, or should I say, I feel like it's almost like a test match for us here between University of Tennessee and Marist College. Marist College, one of the seasoned vets within the EGF. They currently sit at third in the overall standings. I believe they're top for their actual conference with an 11-2 record. But University of Tennessee sitting in a weird spot, if you will, coming into the conference a little bit midway. They've only played 4 games, but they're at a 50-50 win record, and I believe they've toppled one of our giants, if you will, in the conference.
Yes, they are still new into the tournament, 2-2, and they beat University of Texas Arlington, which is not an easy feat as they are number 2 in the rankings right now. Though they did lost to some, also top ranking teams with Wichita University as well as Colorado Boulder University. So they've had a great lineup of matches so far, and this match is not going to be any less important than the previous matches because to get into the league championships, they need to win. The top 10%, the top 10 teams with the highest win percentage will go on to the league championship. So Tennessee wants to win tonight's game to be able to be a competitor for that championship.
Absolutely, and these are the maps that they are going to have to do it on. We're starting things off on Oasis, ladies and gentlemen. The tried and true go with control for the first point, but from there we get a few maps, in my opinion, that I really do hope we go to a map where we don't get Route 66 often enough. But we're not going to waste any time with getting things started. We had a little bit of technical difficulties towards the beginning, but it is smooth sailing from here on out, ladies and gentlemen. University of Tennessee in blue and Marist sporting the red.
And you know what? I love the Oasis map because it's one of those maps where we can see a variety of different team compositions. We might see a little to this first map, or coming in on University a little bit more of the brawl style. So I'm excited to see what the what these teams feel more comfortable in as we have a variety of as we head into Oasis that offers a variety of different team comp choices.
And it looks like, speaking of variety, at least off the bat right now, we are seeing what's kind of become the cemented meta as the seas have calmed, where you're either running one or the other of what you see on your screen right now. The May McCree Brawl composition, good at getting in, fighting, separating in close quarters combat, but the double, a key composition when it comes to drawing the team like a Brawl composition into different engagements and taking advantage of that.
100%. So we will see if University of Tennessee is able to, divert the eyes of Marist College's Brawl comp, and if they're able to, antagonize the backlines to be able to get that first pick off on this map here.
And not a traditional take right now from University of Tennessee, deciding to take their dive to the point and kind of just mitigate through the environment and wait for Marist College to get into the engagement. Dive usually a composition that initiates the fight, but in this situation, they wanted to choose differently. Marist College, however, able to take that challenge and charge on through for the first couple of kills. So it's going to be up to the rest of University of Tennessee to whittle things back. Alex into the high shots there on to Taze, able to get the kills and push forward for his team. And that's going to make Marist College's first point take a bit more cemented. They're going to find that late stagger onto Vocal. The University of Tennessee need to find a new way in.
Yeah, looks like potentially the player cards are wrong. Tennessee actually got this this first point coming in here, and Alex has a Deadeye already, which could be really vital with continuing this hold onto this point here. University of Marist College is really going to be looking to see if they're able to have a door opening as Monkey comes in, beginning with hopefully this will be the green light to push forward. And it looks like my co-caster is muted right now. But
I'm back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, great deflect there from Face Mist to find themselves a safe position to pop that Dragon Blade. The only issue is that all of Tennessee was ready to kind of catch that play. They backed out, re-engaged, and found themselves the win.
Oh man, yeah, they are doing so great at just really controlling this tempo right now, kiting out if they need to sustain from the barrage of ults coming in, and then engaging with their own ults coming in. Emerald has the high noon, and there needs to be some plays made with that high noon to hopefully get a green light here.
You have to make sure the Reinhardt's out of the equation, which Taze is. Smith's also going to fall right now in University of Tennessee with a very controlling defense here, and aggression is the name of the game when it comes to these engagements. Maps like Oasis, if you allow Marist College to take an inch, they will be able to get a mile, and you have ult economy in your favor. You've been able to keep them in their spawn. You're in a good position if you're Tennessee.
100%. Marist College is not number 3 ranking for no reason, but the grab comes out. That might eliminate Marist College's chance to even touch here, Steidl.
Able to keep a couple of them at bay, but the Reinhardt finds his charge through. Doornum as well, getting a kill, and Marist College's hopes now brightening on the horizon as Taze looks to find the kill on the Reinhardt. Not able to do so. The shatter from behind, able to find it, but still gets taken down there at the very, very back end of the fight. Marist College is going to take it, but it's a bit of a shaky go, and they've used a lot of ultimates to get there.
You know what? You are completely right, Steidl. They use quite a bit of ults, and University of Tennessee really played smart there and out their ult. Basher has that shatter, Young Man has that window, and Alex has that high noon. So those are really great win conditioning ults to retake this point right now. So we will see if Marist College is able to sustain this barrage of ults coming on them.
There's the amplification matrix to cut off the right side of the point as they send their McCree to the left. Alex now looking for the perfect moment for a Deadeye, but who needs a Deadeye when you've got heads to click? Alex finds 3 for University of Tennessee. Looking to clean things up with this final kill onto the Lucio. Needs a little bit of help from the team, but ultimately going to be able to secure things for themselves. And at 99%, University of Tennessee don't just take the point back. They take the first point of the map.
Oh man, what a clean fight coming in from University of Tennessee. They are really showcasing right now that though they are late to the party, they want to make a name for themselves in these league championships coming up. So we are really strong start coming in from University of Tennessee, but Marist College, they are not ranked number 3 for, any good old reason. They have proved themselves to be ranked high to that fight. So I'm hoping with the start off with the brawl comp versus them switching midway from the dive to the brawl will really help solidify their engages coming into this next map.
Definitely. And control point for me, and if you've ever seen me cast around here at EGF, you've heard this point battered into your head at the beginning of every cast. Control point is just not, in my opinion, a good litmus test for the entirety of how a team is able to work. It's much more brawly. The DPS in my opinion, have a lot more importance in these engagements. So for Marist, winning this first map, it gives you confidence against the new kid on the block. But I don't think it's the most important thing to happen out of this first map. You're looking at how they play, what they play strong, and where those weaknesses are, so you can exploit them when it comes to the more team synergistic maps down the line.
100%.
As far as the fight on point is going to be going, that middle pillar going to be mitigating a lot of damage for UTK. University of Tennessee now able to find a little bit of purchase, but neither team really finding the upper hand. A hammer down from Taze and a fire strike from Bashir are going to put both Reinhardts into a good position, but one back to spawn. Basher going to be coming back with that shatter, but point going to be going over to Marist.
Yeah, definitely going to be going over to Marist, and I'm surprised that University of Tennessee is just poking here with half their team down, but Bad sure has that shatter coming in, and I'm sure that, he's ready to utilize it coming into this next fight, but Marist College has that gravitation coming in from Doorknob, so we will see really sustained with these win conditioning ults coming into this next fight here.
Luckily for Marist, sound barrier online, sound barrier for both online. The shatter does land, but a good main wall from Tennessee comes through. However, that main wall going to put Emerald up onto the high ground. Still no kills, no follow-up on that shatter. Taze as well committed a second shatter of the match, but we didn't really see that find any fruition. Oh, and Alex was barely getting caught by those long-range shotguns that Reaper now has at his behest. Blizzard online for Senate, but no real opportunity to use it. Needs to get out of the point and regroup. 50% built for Marist College already. If you're University of Tennessee, you can no longer kind of hope the battle goes your way. You need to come into this with a plan.
Definitely. They need to come in with a strategy coming for this next fight. And Zenith has that mail coming online, which should be a win condition, as well as Lucky Dog grab coming in. So we will see if they're able to get those big grab, big blizzard to change the point onto this fight.
Are going to go to the high ground to contest. They have the Blizzard Graviton combination as well as the May Wall to make sure that the healing can't come through. They're going to have to commit a lot to the fight, and Basher committed the shatter onto the high ground. Like, you got the job done, but that's using a sledgehammer to drive in a nail.
Ooh, I know. It's like, unfortunately, utilization of ult that big when it really wasn't needed could be a pretty could be a fight for the struggle for them coming into this next fight, especially since Space Max with Maris College has that Death Blossom as well. Not the grab, so it is all up to Young Man if they're able to hold it off here, and there it is, Chino.
Oh, the grab comes through, but a flashbang from Alex is gonna stop the Death Blossom from even entering the field, but it's okay. Emerald from the back line, shining bright. Able to find 2 on the Deadeye, and not just 2, but the May and the Reinhardt, the 2 members of University of Tennessee that were keeping presence alive.
And we are in last fight territory with Basher going on the and Alex on the Doomfist. We will see if these swaps will be able to at least be able to touch for this last fight.
Able to get the Lucio on for a touch and the Hammond as well, but both of them very, very quickly dealt with. And with the main tank and a healer like that out of the equation, it's going to be more than just a difficult equation to complete for University of Tennessee. Almost an impossible one. You know, so many ults in their faces they were getting back into the point, but you're gonna have a little bit of time to recoup and come at this at a different angle. And with University of Tennessee playing this brawly composition not as well as Marist, in my opinion, University tends to swing into the brawly composition's way.
No, 100%. And I think to your comment in last map, the DPS are a really important, role in these control maps. Getting that first pick onto that fight is really just gives the team a green light to just go, press that W key, and then target focus the remainder of the team. So we are gonna have to see if Alex or Zenith will get that first pick coming in, if to secure that first point control in University of Tennessee's favor.
Looks like we're going to see University of Tennessee utilizing the Symmetra out the gate, but a May wall at the entry is going to stop them from getting into the point at all as University of Tennessee tries to get the favorable positioning. The one difference in these compositions, Face Miss on the Doomfist going to be eliminated from the fight, but not before they take Basher out of the equation, which means Maris gets the chance to press W, and Tennessee really doesn't.
Yep, 100% coming in. It does look like Alex did push off Emerald on that Doomfist, changing to the McCree of its own, especially since Alex just punishing that the flashbang is just so powerful for a Doomfist point pick on here.
Oh, and the double charge is going to come through. Basher able to survive for slightly longer there than Taze as Face Miss tries to get a commitment into the fight, but isn't really able to find it. There goes the Deadeye into the Graviton, but behind the wall, only able to find one. Doorknob gonna get turned back to spawn as 3 kills come through for Maris College. They're gonna stabilize for the men they lost, but they're gonna lose their Reinhardt in the process. So UTK, you have a slight spawn advantage if you can rush people in, but you need to be taking this next fight very carefully.
100%, and they have those win conditioning ults coming in. Basher with a shatter, Lucky Dog with a grab coming in. So if they're able to raise those ultimate percentages up to be able to utilize them, especially since Vocal doesn't have that beat yet, that'll be really beneficial for University of Tennessee.
And a big pick from Alex to start things off. Lucky Dog following with the kill onto the high noon McCree. Emerald going to be sent back to spawn as now Maris College forced to give up space here on the point. Maywall goes down, and you tried a fancy thing there. Tried to hop over the wall while the Maywall was distracting them to get some extra damage towards that ultimate, but immediately got noticed by Zenith and taken out of the fight.
Ooh, yeah, definitely got taken out, and University of Tennessee is stacked with ultimates coming in here. I'm hoping that they methodically utilize them coming into this fight instead of utilizing them all coming in. And it is up to Boggle if he's able to save the team with his beat from this barrage balls coming in from University of Tennessee.
And there goes the barrage. Vocal gonna have to submit that sound barrier. The issue is still a lot online for University of Tennessee, and Alex looking to make the best of it, trying to catch this Doomfist out on the way back to spawn, but doesn't have to commit. The rest of the team still able to find those kills.
And I mean, the question coming in for University of Tennessee, if 3 ults, the Shatter, the Grab, the Blizz is too much value for that last fight utilizing. Paviar does have that beat coming in and Youngman with the window. So it'll be very important coming in for the support to save the team from this barrage of ults coming in from Marist College as Shatter starts coming in. Ooh.
Yeah, that Shatter from Taze looked to be big, but a bigger Maywall, if you will, came in from Sinith to stop the aggression from Marist. Not to mention the Meteor Strike, the Space Jam, if you will, not going to be connecting due to the Graviton being on the other side of that wall. It holds the members in a position where that Reinhardt could easily put the shield up and mitigate all of that damage.
100%. Zenith coming in strong with a wall here as University of Texas is holding very strong on this last fight, almost having that Blizzard, which could seal the deal with them taking this map as we are approaching last fight territory.
And sightlines are important as the amplification matrix gets committed, but a bubble and an ice blocks are going to scare Alex away from the fight. They know the McCree has the Deadeye, and they were able to take him out of the fight very early on. And for Marist College, what a beautiful example of knowing your win condition.
Son, though we are not in last fight territory anymore, University of Tennessee withholding those really strong ultimates for hopefully what they're hoping for their last fight. They have quite a bit of ults coming in, which could be the win condition that they are wanting for this last fight. And but Volcom, it is it is all about him once again as he has that beat, and it will be up to him to save the team from this barrage of ults.
For Marist, that's the win condition. For University of Tennessee, it's making sure you don't commit all of your ultimates at once. You need to be able to stagger them and draw out that sound barrier, which they're able to do. They will be able to walk back with a sound barrier, an amplification matrix, and a shatter of their own as long as they can read Taze. This will be an upper... Oh. Well, Taze did the shatter, but completely goes off point. That could be a big mistake. Alex needs to come in big on the Doomfist and make sure that they're able to find the kills, but they get taken down by Face Mist. Marist College now back to the upper hand. Thought they lost it when the Reinhardt got taken down, but it's okay. Things are still online. A high charge Zarya and Doorknob is going to be keeping your dreams alive. But Farver's sound barrier and the amplification matrix from Young Man making it difficult for Marist College to really keep their presence here on the point. Alex now recommitting on the Doomfist, able to find the initial kill onto Ohm. 2 kills now for Marist College as they tip the scales back into their favor. University of Tennessee, a 3-man squad on the point, but able to whittle Marist College down here. It's going to come down to who can take out Emerald, who can keep their tricky mobility heroes on the point, and it's not going to be University of Tennessee. Marist will walk away with our first map, but a good showing from both schools.
Definitely a great showing from both schools, and Days in with that crazy push. I thought that was going to be, or with the pin, I thought that was going to be the game-ending fight and flipping it to University of Tennessee. But the fact that University of Tennessee did not kill Doorknob, that high-charge shiny Zarya, that I gotta say, that was the unfortunately the thing that hit that sealed the coffin for that last fight, especially since Doorknob was just doing so much work on that fight, or on that map. Oh man. And they stayed alive for that whole fight.
Doorknob as a Zarya really anchored it down for them there in those final moments, especially on that final map of University. If they hadn't had that Zarya in the equation, I'm pretty confident that University of Tennessee would have been able to take that back. And at 99%, that's pretty much giving them the map. So huge props there. I'm really excited to see what these supports have to give us for these next maps, though.
We had a really strong showing from both sides coming in, especially with both sides controlling the tempo of the map on their specific maps that they won in the tourney. And that is really thanks to the supports really making those calls for the team to back off, sustain, let me heal you, please. Coming from a support player myself. And you know, that alone really just helps control that tempo, helps control that point or engage with the engagement. So great job coming in from Marist College, but Tennessee really showcased that they are definitely they have not utilized all of their artillery belt. So I'm pretty excited to see how they're going to come in, learning from playing against Marist College with this first map of Oasis and how they're going to use that as they go into King's Row for this next map.
In King's Row, it's a map where you're at this elo. If you do not have at least 5 different executed, practiced plans for this map, I'm disappointed. It's been here forever. It's a tried and true. You've got to be able to play this map.
You are completely right, Steidel. It is called Scrims Row, or what players usually call it, for a reason. And especially both teams were really confident in the Brawly comps. I am curious to see how UTK is going to take Maris Brawl on. We did see in that last map that they do have a little bit of a stronger Brawl coming in. So I'm hoping that they really focus on the target prioritization, because if a player like Doorknob, who is very charged throughout the entirety of the fight, can go down first, that is a big green light for for Tennessee to push forward and hopefully win that fight. I think you are muted, Steidel.
If you really want to prove your point, step 1, unmute. Step 2, win King's Row. That's kind of that's the point that I want to make. For Marist, this is you looking at Tennessee, and you've gotten to see them play a couple of big squads, and they did lose against CU Boulder as well as Wichita State, but they were very close matches. So it wasn't like they were completely swept off the floor. This equation for Marist is proving to UTK that you don't belong up here. It's telling them, we are one of the top 5, top 6 teams. And if you want to be up here, this is what you have to bring to the table. And for UTK, in my opinion, this is when you get to play your trump cards. Teams haven't gotten to see you play very often. You still have the advantage of there's not a lot of resources for scouting your team. Throw something into the mix. Throw a kink into the mix. I don't care what it is. If it's a nano boosted Hammond, I'll be super happy about it, but it's probably not going to be. Just kind of toss it up a little bit and put them onto that back foot.
Yeah, 100%. You make a solid point. Them be pretty new to this tourney, only having 4 maps under their belt. The teams have not seen or consistently played them enough to be like, oh, you know what? University of Tennessee, they definitely are comfortable on this. So I'm excited to see the team making plays, as this is the game that they need to make those plays on. They need to win this match to be able to still be a contending team and potentially get a role or an invitation to the league champions on April 16th. So I'm excited to see what these trump cards are and to see how we are going to be forcing these plays to potentially this map of King's Row.
Do you think we get the Bastion?
I want it.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
I don't know
if they get rid of the Bastion and keep the Hammond, I'll be happy.
That's true. That could set up a potential. Oh no! Breaking the caster's hearts, Escher.
Oh no!
Why?
Oh no! Oh no! It's the Bastion Telly. It's the Bastion Telly, ladies and gentlemen. They're looking to put Alex right on top of that statue and dish out damage. Come on, be flashy. Give it to me, UTK. There it is. The Maywall comes up. They're not looking for it. Bastion goes to the top, but Taze still able to find that opening kill, but doesn't look like we're going to see too much fruition from Alex here on the Bastion, just peppering damage down below, but hasn't really been able to find themselves the pick they need, deserting that high ground position as the fight moves to point. At this point, you commit. The composition didn't work. Go back to spawn, switch it up, get serious. It was a good try.
No, 100%. And Marist College did a great job at just playing sidelines and really denying the opportunity to even do the Bastion, but are they going to still continue it?
Again?
What? Ooh. Oh no! Sure.
Able to get that Bastion back on top, but still no fruition just yet. Oh, Doorknob getting dangerously low, but like you said, sightlines. in favor of Marist College as they huddle around this statue. The rest of University of Tennessee really needs to be getting around and forcing that positioning away from Marist College so the Bastion can get work done.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They've already wasted a minute and 30 seconds, or a minute and 40 seconds, 20 seconds, excuse me, I can't count, math is hard, on fight right now, so I'm not sure, even with Bastion's ult, if this will be enough to push forward with these doors, especially with Doorknob and Face Mask having those big ults coming into play here.
I'd almost like to see the teleport fake. You put the teleporter up there and then just keep the Bastion here on the ground, but no. It's going to be Bastion on high in the tank form, able to find one kill onto Vocal and help with the kill onto Taze, but a Graviton keeping Bastion stationary from Doorknob, continuing to be a havoc, a force, if you will, on this Zarya. Doesn't just find 2, but supports 6 kills.
And 2 minutes it takes for University of Tennessee to realize that the Bastion is not working, to switch off of on the McCree. Hopefully that'll help, and hopefully Seneth keeping the wall will be able to give them a little bit of wiggle room to push in on here.
Well, they are able to execute the teleporter to the high ground, as well as their Gravitic Flex, but of course Vocal keeping that sound barrier alive for that ultimate, and that ultimate alone as they commit the Blizzard to the back of the point. Marist College will be in good position to keep their defense alive. Take the first kill off to Young Man, but a quick trade and back and forth it goes. A res onto the back line, so Liana will be back for University of Tennessee. The Shatter lands and charged straight into his own Shatter. Basher able to find the kill onto Emerald. Hunting into the back line onto a high charge. Zarya knows that Doorknob needs to get eliminated from this fight. If you allow this high charge Zarya to get out with their Lucio, they're going to come back for a recontest, and it's not going to take too long. Recontest
100%.
now online for Marist College as they're coming back into the fight. The Deadeye comes out, but the Maywall's there. You can't see anybody. You can't shoot anybody. So it's going to be up to Emerald on this McCree for Marist College to turn the tables back in their favor on this defense. They do have that initial kill from Lucky Dog, but a Graviton comes out, and Doorknob looking to build that charge right back up, able to put themselves to 100%, but not 100% health, gets taken down, and University of Tennessee has the upper hand and the point.
Oh man, now Doorknob comes down, and you know what? University of Tennessee needs to show Doorknob a little bit more respect and realize that that is the player that needs to come down. Or, you know, there could have been a possibility for University of Tennessee to take that point sooner than later if they would have gotten that kill onto Doorknob. So hopefully they have a little bit more target precision coming in, but I do love the fact that they are taking this space right now to push the payload as far as they can, at least under those archways, since that is an infamous area for teams to get really stuck on.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where either you blink and you miss it and section 2 is gone, or this is where the entirety of the fight takes place. It looks like the entirety of the fight is going to be taking place right here. The big freeze from Face Miss is going to put University of Tennessee into a cold spot, but it's okay. They've got Lucky Dog warmed up and charged up to move into this fight. They're going to lose one, but it's a Tracer. Tracer will be back into the equation pretty quickly. Yeah,
both support ults is being utilized on University of Tennessee side that last fight, so we will see how they're to sustain and stay alive for these ults coming in for Marist College side's Face Mask, having that Blizzard, which we have seen big Blizzards coming in from them, so we will see if they're able to withhold on this last fight here, or coming to second point.
With Basher getting that opening pick, it's a quick answer back from Marist College, finding 3. And, you know, you get that far in as a Reinhardt, you've got to have the team behind you, or else it's going to end exactly like that.
100%. And, you know, this is a unfortunate position for the payload to be in for University of Tennessee. This really allows Marist College to take on that spawn advantage that they have now for the defense, and quite a bit of a long walk for University of Tennessee. And this will probably be a dry fight, which is actually just kidding. Basher has that shatter, so if he is able to get that shatter off, that'll definitely be a win condition. But Marist College has the clever start him off.
This is a fight for Tennessee. You had it right on the first go. You want to take this dry. But they're going to commit that Earth Shatter, are able to find 1 kill, 2 kills up off of it. I mean, there's the third as well, and they do get control of the percentage, or of the point, I'm sorry. However, coming into the next fight, what is going to be the stall fight, you only have 40 seconds left. Marist now has ult advantage, and University of Tennessee has nothing to bring to the table.
100%, and even though they cap this, they only have 2 minutes to get to this third point, with Marist College having the ult economy on their side right now. So University of Tennessee is just focused on getting that poke damage, getting those ultimates raised up to hopefully get a win condition for themselves to get to that third point. So we will see Vocal still has that beat, so we'll see if they're able to push it out.
Yeah, and Vocal's beat gonna be saved, of course, for any big ultimate that Tennessee tries to bring to the field, but nothing to stop Emerald from popping this Deadeye right here, right now, except for a hyper-aggressive Reinhardt who's getting kills and making space. Basher and Taze both gonna fall, so no shields on either side of the field. Emerald gonna take advantage of that, working his way behind the payload for a flashbang into the back line, but Alex, the superior McCree, finding 3 for for UTK. And they're able to find that kill. Did Parver seriously get the boop onto Vocal, or was Vocal resetting?
Oh my goodness, the boop comes off, showing a little bit of dominance coming in from Parver with the Lucio. Whew.
This is going to be last fight territory, pretty much a spawn advantage currently heavily in favor of Marist College. Soundbear going to keep them alive within the Graviton, but the Deadeye there to eat away at that extra health as Emerald, getting extremely aggressive on this McCree yet again, is able to make enough space for the tanks to get into the fight, and for Marist College to push the University of Tennessee back to spawn, see if they can get a couple of staggers, just in one good shot. Emerald, come on, you got this. Isn't able to secure it.
Doesn't look like they're able to secure it, but you know what? This is a perfect position that I would want to be in if I was University of Tennessee, since Vocal utilized that beat, and we have Lucky Dog with the grab, Zenith with the Blizz, and Window to start it off here. Oh man.
Oh, the valiant attempt from Basher. Tries to hop past the Immortality Field, lays down the Shatter to get the space, and although they don't land the Shatter, they're able to find space and picks for their team. So now Marist defending with a 4-man squad against a 4-man University of Tennessee who's continuing to pick up picks. Ult economy still slightly in favor of Marist College in this next engagement, as they'll have Shatter and Graviton online for this overtime push. There goes the Graviton. The Shatter still in wait as the shield looks to break. Shield breaks, the Shatter lands, and 3 go down for University of Tennessee. Marist College have their defense set in stone on this third point, but University of Tennessee pushing them to the edge at every encounter.
Oh man, Marist College really taking advantage of that spawn, taking advantage of the spawn advantage that they had. Lots of advantages coming in from Marist College, even that ult economy. But I believe what really gave Marist a little bit of the upper hand, really denying that third point to University of Tennessee, was that target prioritization coming in at the end. They recognize that they have that spawn advantage. They recognize that there are key people that we need to eliminate to withhold the defense, and that's what they did, pushing in, getting the kills that were needed for Marist College, and coming out with a really strong defense in the end. Though, that is not to say that University of Tennessee didn't have a great offense coming in. Getting at the almost third point is really great. We are just going to have to see a strong defense coming in. And it does not look like we will see any Bastion coming on defense. And also not any Bastion on the offense either from Marist.
Sad day. I kind of want Marist to flex here. I'd like them to be like, oh, let's see if we can execute this as well as you did.
We could do it better.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna want to. Marist, like I said, this is a game where you have a point to prove. You can't go up against the new guy and get taken down. I mean, how are you gonna go back to your conference and present yourself as this high tier team that you are if you're getting knocked out to the new kid on the block? So, Marist College looking to hammer this home pretty quickly. They're gonna take a traditional brawl with that main McCree to do it.
Yeah, we will see if... Oh, going up on the high ground as well. Looking like they are going to try to take advantage of that high ground coming in as their initiation. We will see if Face Mask is able to get those walls needed to be able to really secure this engagement coming in for Marist College on the attack.
And a good approach. It's a nice way to keep yourself out of the target of the May wall through the initial choke. It promises that you get to this high ground position, and now you've swapped the tables onto University of Tennessee. You have kind of the initiating choice, and a May wall coming out from both sides, but quickly dealt with on either side of the fence. It's going to be up to Emerald on this high ground to kind of sit, be forgotten, and then pepper in damage. But Vocal taking Parver out, a little bit angry about that boop last match, so immediately targeting the opposite. Lucio, Marist College have themselves control of the point.
What a quick engagement coming in from Marist College. Really, that high ground, really patient plays coming in, waiting for that a little bit of that take the Maywall on the Zenith side. But oh goodness, is that Shatter needed? Was the question actually?
Yes, in my opinion, that Shatter definitely needed. Respawns for University of Tennessee were soon to be in position to get sped boost back into the fight. Alex has the Deadeye that you can then execute on the flank, as well as the amplification matrix from Young Man that can really enable Zenith to put the Blizzard online and get Parver's sound barrier. So you don't shatter there, you allow for Marist College to kind of stem the bleeding and get back into the interaction.
Very true. Very true. As they are pushing here, and we will see that infinite hold, right? Infinite hold coming in just past the archways here with a grab coming out.
Not only a grab, but two windows of opportunity. It's which one's going to make the most out of it. It looks like Marist College getting the blunt end of the stick there. University of Tennessee able to point their way through and be the spearhead. Doorknob, very high in charge, but a bit portioned off, if you will. So University of Tennessee gets another shatter. The sound barrier's there to keep them alive. Supports in a McCree into a small space with the Reinhardt, but Face Mist able to make the best out of a bad situation as Emerald's Deadeye lands for two. Marist able to push this payload through and continue to whittle down University of Tennessee.
Oh man, what a great Deadeye coming in from Emerald, and they have not utilized all their ults as Face Mask and Doorknob have that Blizzard and a Blizzard and Grab coming in for this next fight. And Doorknob looking like a shiny Zarya, but Lucky Dog has that has the grab coming in favor of University of Tennessee. So we will see which team will be able to get off that grab and or Blizzard cleanly to be able to either hold or take the second point.
Yeah, if you're Doorknob, you have to commit that right there. You've got so much time if you take this point that you're going to have another Graviton pretty soon, and you're stopping them from getting the positioning of the payload in this final fight position that can be advantageous. So, Graviton there, very much so expected. They're going to have the Shatter online, Amplification Matrix is coming up soon, and Marist College have, what, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to push this final point?
Whew, man, yeah, what a hefty time bank that they have, and you were so right. Doorknob really just denying even the dream of pushing that second point, and still Shiny already 30% and counting for their ultimate, but Window is pushed forward, and oh, unfortunate Shatter coming in for Chase.
Yeah, the Shatter not going to land because of the Maywall, but at the same time, the Maywall is going to take the Amplification Matrix off the table as well. And it's not the first time that we've seen Zenith on this May be really effective with mitigating damage and even canceling ultimates with that Maywall.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, University of Tennessee is looking pretty great with the ult economies, but they're going to have to take a look at Doorknob's ult as he presses the Q button.
Yeah, trying to get that Maywall up in front of the Deadeye doesn't work, but it's not able to find the kills it needs due to Vocal's sound barrier. Another big shatter from Basher, however, as University of Tennessee looked to prove to Marist College that you said that we had to play at a what tier to play against you? Okay, let's turn it up a little bit. Take this third point from us. We're not going to give it to you.
100%, and they have already burned a minute on the clock for Marist College, only having 3:23 and counting to get this third point, but University of Tennessee is not going down easy, and Zenith is looking for that Blizzard coming in right now, especially with Vocal's beat no longer.
And there's a preemptive Blizzard to stop Face Mist from getting any purchase, but just because the members of Marist College can't walk through the Blizzard you put down does not mean they cannot utilize the Blizzard they've used. Gonna be able to find themselves a little bit of space as Alex coming out from hiding has the Amplification Matrix as a support to the McCree, but isn't able to find kills from it. Vocal getting taken down. Another boop comes through. That's a double environmental from Paravir here on the third point as that payload sits eerily close to the edge of that golden box.
Oh man, and UTK is not letting up, and so crazy with the boop coming in from Paravir. Not a whole lot of spaces to boop off, but just showcasing that anywhere you give him, he's going to get those boops with Lucio. We are in 2:22 coming in for Marist College, and they did use quite a plethora of ults coming in, so this is definitely going to be a dry fight coming in from both sides to try to get that ult economy up and make a win condition for themselves.
Yeah, Parver will have the sound barrier coming into this engagement, and what they've got to look out for is Doorknob. Dangerously close to the Graviton, should have it in the mid-fight. So you got to save that sound barrier for just the right time. It's only going to be able to negate one encounter. There goes the sound barrier into the Blizzard, into the Graviton, taking advantage of Marist's aggression. But a big Flame Shatter comes through from Taze, but immediately gets deleted from the rest of the team from UTK, and that is just a pure example of positioning. Taze got the surprise, but because enough members of UTK were off the point and kind of on these off angles, they were able to quickly deal with that.
Oh yeah, you know, a big shatter can only go so far if your team is not even there to, you know, go up on it and kill those people down. So a little bit of an unfortunate shatter coming in from Taze there, especially since we are in a minute and counting and for last fight territory.
Yeah, it's not last fight, but it is very, very close to it. So this is the instance where if you can squeak ultimates out of Marist College, you really want to, but you, on the opposite side of the fence, you really do not want to be using ultimates right now, because 55 seconds, Marist College gets one full engage, two kind of half-hearted engage, and if they can bring out more ultimates from you than you can from them, you will lose this fight.
100%, and that'll be ideal for University of Tennessee. If they can bait out Vocals B, this could be a potential win condition for University of Tennessee on this map.
And not what Basher wanted to see. Threw out the Shatter, didn't land. The Blizzard went into the back line to split up and kind of scatter away the rest of the team, but a Graviton from Lucky Dog just there to distract and displace Marist College so that they can continue their stall onto the point, looking to take Taze out of the fight. They want this Reinhardt in the grave, but while they're trying so hard to do so, the rest of Marist College are going to be bugging and pushing into the back line and pushing that payload to the finish line.
Oh man, what target prioritization coming in from Marist College with that last bit. What a pick coming in from Bashar coming right there. That just really secured the map or fight win for Marist College as they get map to King's Row. Oh man, what a great shatter coming in from Basher. Oh man.
And a really good showing of what University of Tennessee has to bring to the table. The attack, in my opinion, a little bit weaker than their defense. There were a couple of pieces of the puzzle that I would have liked to have seen changed, like we talked about with the Bastion, definitely on the field for a little bit too long. Those Symmetra teleport strategies are very difficult to pull off more than once. It's kind of a one and done because they know if they counter it the first time, they're expecting it the second, and they've already shown you that they know how to deal with it.
Yeah, the surprise factor is already gone, so 2 minutes is quite a bit of time as well to really burn from a engagement like that. So, and also talking about the ult economy, coming in, you know, having the Bastion ult can be a powerful ult, but maybe it didn't give as much value as if they changed out to McCree after that first fight ended. But yeah, UTK is really showcasing that though they are a newer team coming in, they are not going down easy. Though the score right now is 0-2 or 2-0 in favor of Marist College, these have been close fights, Scheidel. So we will see it. Maybe will we see a reverse sweep? Potentially?
It's possible. We're going to be going into a quick break here, so the teams do have a little bit of time to have that locker room talk and get those spirits back in action. But we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with our third map of Hanamura after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to EGF as we have Marist College facing off against University of Tennessee. Tropic Theory and Shadow 24 bringing you that action. And we were talking about this a little bit on the break. This is the moment for Tennessee. You really have to fire back now, and you can't be weak about it. You got to fire back strong. Hanamura, a map that's really good for Marist, and the Gibraltar, another map that, in my opinion, double bubble for Marist, looks really strong.
Yeah, this is the kind of the make or break right now with UTK. If they're gonna, you know, at the very beginning of the cast, we were talking about how, you know, they're still a newer team. They still have, you know, potential things in their artillery to bring out and surprise. And that is what we need right now coming into Hanamura. We have seen how this map is a strong one for Marist College, and UTK really needs to bring it all out on the table right now, because either they lose the match tonight 0-3, or they take it to a potential reverse sweep. And we all want more Overwatch, so I'm really hoping that University of Tennessee really reflects on the last two maps, reflects on what they need to be more thoughtful about, and then come out strong for this next one.
And as far as their conference is concerned, for University of Tennessee, you're just below DePaul University in that 6th place spot, and because you don't have a lot of maps under your belt, each win and loss heavily affects what your win percentage is going to be. So you take this in a 3-0, it's going to heavily, it's not just going to impact your win-loss ratio, your map ratio is going to get, your map differential is going to get hit pretty hard. So even just squeaking out the one map for University of Tennessee at this point is a winnable
definitely
thing.
ideal.
Yeah. And it's the best case scenario if Marist continues to play the way they have. But looks like we're going to get a Symmetra to teleport straight to point. Are they going to be able to take it out? Nope, no taking it out. And it kind of gets backfired on because there's a Symmetra on the defending side as well, as Marist College is able to reposition themselves with a teleporter of their own and put themselves onto point to take Basher out of the equation and push back on what University of Tennessee is bringing to the table.
Yeah, they push back and at least save quite a bit of their teammates as they're waiting for Basher to come back here. But Taze already has 70% and counting as well on big ults coming in for Marist College. So we are going to see University of Tennessee probably see how they sustain these big ults coming in for Marist College here.
Yeah, and it's not just big ults coming in, but it's big ults coming in really quickly.
Ooh, very quick.
For Marist College. And they have the Maywall up front, so they're able to kind of portion your push as you try and go through, make it more difficult to place that teleporter. But like I pointed out, Harmonix on this Symmetra, able to create an escape route, but escape isn't what they need. It's kills. Marist College dwindling down. The amplification matrix worked out in the beginning, but it's getting taken away now by Doorknob. Gonna have to be able to take this Zarya out of the equation, and you know what? This time, Lucky Dog gonna be on the upper hand, if you will, to take that fight.
Yeah, I think they might have learned their lesson on Oasis. Leaving Doorknob alive is not all a good idea. And you know what? This is really ideal. Oh, they are gonna push the point right here at Marist College. We will see if they're able to.
The joy of having a Symmetra on your side on the defense is you can get back to the point quickly, but getting back to the point doesn't win you the fight. A lot of kills coming through from University of Tennessee with a very good and preemptive shield there from Zenith. I suspect Zenith saw the teleport pop up and immediately puts out a shield that makes it almost impossible for Marist College to utilize that surprise factor that they were going for.
Oh, yeah. What a great reaction time coming in from Zenith, and we have quite a bit of ults coming in favor of University of Tennessee. Lucky Dog having that grab, so if they're able to, that could be a win conditioning ult coming in from University of Tennessee.
Yeah, win conditions one way to put it. Massacre is another way to phrase it. University of Tennessee just walking across the point, and so often you hear about this, oh, the spawn advantage, the spawn advantage. We can't get them off the point. There's no one to respawn. Everyone died at the same time.
Yeah, that was a snowball right there. And honestly, University of Tennessee couldn't have asked for more. Marist College Doorknob utilizing that grab in the middle of the fight as they were trying to just hold and have that steady defense. And Lucky Dog having the ult, the Graviton ready and available for the next fight just really allowed University of Tennessee to just push forward. And we all know about the infamous snowball effect coming in from these lovely 2 CP points, and they really were able to do that coming in.
Yeah, and a beautiful job to do it. You can actually hear Lucky Dog's friends in the background cheering him on right now. So, shout out to Lucky Dog and the crew. But University of Tennessee really going to have an impressive defense on Hanamura, because you have a good attack, that's great, but you can't just bring one side of the coin. You just can't have just peanut butter. You gotta have PB&J. You gotta get both sides of that equation into the mix. So your defense is just as important, and you know that they're going to be bringing that traditional brawl to the point. So I'm happy to see Marist try and take the upper hand on the Symmetra, because this time University of Tennessee, they're not going to have the option of teleporting back to point to defend.
Yeah, they definitely aren't going to. So we will see if this will be, you know, something that could make or break this next fight coming in. Oh, there's a teleporter coming to the right side of the point.
They're going to put the main wall down immediately just to make sure that they can't get any damage out onto the point off of their initial positioning, but the response from Harmonix is going to be swift. Face Mist is going to fall as well as they almost lose their Symmetra, and luckily they're able to find some healing, but that's not going to be the same story for Taze and Doorknob. Both getting taken down from Marist College. This is get what you can out of your ultimates, because we're going back to spawn.
Yeah, going back to spawn, and quite a bit of ults coming in favor of University of Tennessee, as both Reinhardts have that shatter being quickly built. So this could be one of those, you know, the Rein dance where we will see who's able to shield and who is able to get that shatter that the team really collapses on.
And I like what University of Tennessee has done here. They said, you want to go for the sim strategy, that's fine. We'll just give you nothing. Brawl has to be close up. It can't fight across this distance from choke to point. So allow them to use that teleporter how they want and preemptively plan those fights so that you can get the upper hand. 2 kills come through quick. There's the third. The boop onto Face Mist from Paravar, and that's going to end the fight completely. University of Tennessee right now playing with a really good head on their shoulders.
Yeah, they recognize that this is the map that they have to take all the stops out and showcase what they have, and they are not letting Marist College just take this map on them. OM has the window coming in, so hopefully that gives enough damage to make give Marist College an opening on here, but University of Tennessee has these big ults coming in. Zenith, the Blizz could definitely stop if he's able to get the picks off on it.
Trying to squeak an amplification matrix through a small space in a wall is a smart idea, but it was read like a book from University of Tennessee. They were able to kind of situate themselves into an advantageous position where the amplification matrix got no value. The Mei wall going to mitigate the entry back on point, but not deny it outright. Marist still has chances here and ultimates to use. The Blizzard in response to the Graviton comes out. You see Taze still making his way back to point on the Reinhardt, has the Shatter at the ready, and is eager to use it. Doesn't get the chance, though. Immediately getting taken down, walled off. Taze! An unfortunate story, a sad song to be sung. Gonna get taken out, and Marist College need to get out of here quickly before they feed too much ult back to University of Tennessee.
6 ults coming in for Marist College to push onto that. Might be devastating coming in with only a minute to push. You know, they might have 1 or 2 fights coming in, but wow, this is a great position for University of Tennessee to be in. They are up in the ult combi, not by too much, only having the high noon and the window coming in, but those can be major ults to win this fight, as we are very much approaching last fight territory. But Doorknob, might be able to break that grab.
Yeah, Doorknob might be able to have that grab online, but the main wall coming in once again from University of Tennessee is going to start the fight off right and force out a lot of cooldowns from Marist College, including the immortality field. So they're not going to have a survival ult or utility for any situation. Lucky Dog continuing to bark down the street off leash, massacring through the team with the support of Alex and the rest of University of Tennessee. Marist College working really hard to put the pieces of the puzzle here, but I'm afraid a couple might be stuck under the carpet.
Yeah, I really think so. You know, Lucky Dog probably heard us talking about Doorknob all evening. Anyway, hey, I'm also a very shiny Zarya and I need to be given the respect needed. But speaking of Doorknob has that win condition that Marist College needs. They need a big grab to keep this fight alive.
A big grab is one thing, and a cooldown usage is another. They commit the immortality field very early on so that when the bulk of the fight is happening here in the later game, they're going to have another one to go. Harmonix able to get a high charge beam on this Symmetra, and that's shield pretty much mitigating anything that Alex wanted to bring to the table. So only able to find a couple of hits, but Face Mist with a big punch.
Oh my goodness, Face Mist coming in with that right there. They needed that, and he delivered coming in. It does look like they will be holding, they will be capping this first point, giving themselves 3 minutes to cap the second point. Not really in a position to snowball in, especially having such little ultimates, but University of Tennessee is ready with those barrage of ultimates for Marist College to push forward.
And they've almost got the space. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at different ultimates, but they're gonna have the meteor strike for Faith Misk and the sound barrier from Emerald plus that shatter pretty soon. University of Tennessee, old game wise, you should be feeling good, except for that graviton. Wanted to squeak it over the lamp and wasn't able to do so. But that's all right. You still forced the fight into a more than favorable position. Able to take yourself a couple of kills, and UTK and Marist College both really split right now. If you're Marist, you need to completely back out. You don't have the advantage of Tennessee, and you don't have the spawn advantage.
Yeah, University of Tennessee, you know, Basher is able to, you know, poke a little bit further because if he does, he has that spawn advantage. But, you know, still not great as we are 2 minutes and counting down on Marist College being able to take the second point, and also they do have now. So this could be, if they're able to get, you know, that initial pick from Face Misk or something, that could definitely be a go button for Marist College to push on the point.
They need to be careful. They know that Zenith has the Blizzard online, so they don't want to contest onto the high ground and give more ult percentage over to Basher, but they didn't know just how close Basher was to the Shatter. Basher avoids the Shatter and sends one of his own, but nobody paying any attention to Face Misk on the Doomfist in the back line. Does get hit with a flashbang, but not before he watches the majority of his team get taken off of the map.
Oh man, I thought Face Misk was going to be able to do that, but no, Alex on the McCree just really counters Face Misk's ability to just push in here, and it does make him change back to McCree onto this point. 60 seconds and counting down. We are definitely approaching last fight territory, but Marist College has 2 major ultimates that could definitely be the win conditions that they need to win this next fight coming in. Harmonix and Doorknob really need to build up those ultimates, because that is what Marist College needs for this last fight here.
And I like the fact that Marist College isn't taking the bait, or sorry, that University of Tennessee isn't taking the bait of Marist College, where they continuously kind of bug the high ground, but then push straight through middle. A lot of teams preemptively position themselves for that situation, but oh no, preemptively is not what you want. And Paravar trying to peek for a couple of shots on the Lucio to build themselves that sound barrier, is able to do so, but gets taken out in the process. Gladfully though, not in overtime. Your respawns are still on point. You're going to be able to get back into the equation pretty quickly, but the Shatter from Tay is putting everybody from Marist onto the ground, and they're looking to mirror what University of Tennessee was able to do to them by wiping them out quick enough that nobody's there to contest.
Oh my god, what a major... Oh, will they be able...
So close, so close!
Oh, so close! Sure, almost... His dreams were on the light to get touched, but it was not enough, as is with a swing. Taze denies the dream of touching as we are forced into the next for University of Tennessee to push. Because Marist College did not get any overtime time for capping those 2 points. They are not able to push forward. So this is either going to be a tie or a win coming in from University of Tennessee. They have quite a pretty time banks coming in for this one map that they need to get over, though. I mean,
you get 4 minutes to start the game naturally. You got 4 minutes and 20 to start off here. It's a good go.
Yeah, they're looking pretty with the setup that they have for potentially winning this map on Hanamura, and honestly, that is what they need right now to, you know, hopefully go on to the league championships coming in next month in April.
And for University of Tennessee, I talked about how this was a proving match for you. You come in late to the season. You've been able to topple one of the larger teams in the league. However, you've still fallen to a couple of teams that are below that team that you beat, but still the top of the standings. So I feel like University of Tennessee is very much so still in an era of playing here in the EGF where not everything's locked into place just yet. They're still figuring out a couple of key elements of their play, and it looks like they're figuring it out on the fly. Oh, what is that? How does Lucky Dog get that kill? I wish I saw, but I didn't actually catch it on my screen, but a big take for University of Tennessee, and it's not looking good for Marist College because they can play slow, they can play low, and take you out of the fight completely. Basher is going to get taken down, but Tay's looking soon to follow unless the supports from Marist College can keep him up, and it's not going to happen. Alex is there with the Peacekeeper to make sure that Reinhardt goes back into the grave. However, University of Tennessee, you're going to go back out of this fight. You have good ult percentage. You were able to push in well, but you didn't fully take advantage of that fight.
Yeah, they're doing a great job here as they approach it. Once again, the wall really doing a really great job of trying to take some ticks down right here, Shido.
Yeah, you see a lot of teams put the wall out and then have their Reinhardt engage, whereas time and time again, we've seen University of Tennessee allow for Basher to be the kind of caller for that engagement, charges preemptively, and then has the wall just before they hit to make sure that they secure that before any stuns can hit the Reinhardt or the damage can come out. But nothing really there to be done for Marist College. That's a really difficult situation to be in. You only get that first point. They only need to get 1/3 of it, and you have such a long walk back from spawn.
Yeah, you're completely right. That was a tough situation to be put in. And they weren't able to burn enough time down, and especially on these spawns coming in from Hanamura, that's a rough spawn to come back to when, you gotta get back to that point. So congratulations on that map coming in from University of Tennessee, and that is going to take us to a 4th map, which is going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar. We've seen quite a bit of brawl coming in for both teams, so I'm excited to see more of the dive coming in. Maybe we will see the nano ball that you want to see, Shadow.
I'm interested to see how it goes here, because we've seen University of Tennessee be reluctant to playing that double bubble composition. True. And they already have brought to the table the double bubble, and it didn't go favorably for them. Marist was able to beat them out on that brawl composition. So what I want to see is I'd like to see University come out with a bit of a hybrid. Don't necessarily play that double bubble, but bring in the mobility that's needed and used from the double bubble composition into Watchpoint Gibraltar, a map where map points 1 and 2, it's all about verticality.
Yeah.
And then bring in the separation aspect a little bit. Get your DPS lineup to maybe demand a little bit more attention. Force them to babysit a little bit more, and then they themselves will have a little bit of difficulty executing that double bubble.
And maybe they won't go the double bubble route. Maybe they'll go more of the Ball Diva route, that similar play style, just different characters. Rather than relying on that, the charge, we rely more on the Diva and the chaos the ball creates in the back of the point. So maybe they will. We did see a little bit of the Diva, if I'm not mistaken, from University of Tennessee. So maybe they prefer that mix up. But Marist College, we know the capability from this double bubble. So they definitely are going to have to see, but no, they're going straight on to the tried and true, continuing on with the brawl comp.
I like what University of Tennessee is bringing to the table, but what Marist has put on the table is a bit of a trump card when it comes to defense here at Gibraltar. It's not the double bubble, so you're not going to have that Winston getting into the back line, separating the healers from the rest of the team, and causing separate fights. What you're going to have is, I like to call this the flyby composition, where Doorknob's primary role here is to have presence in the front line, but significance into the back line, peeling for the Zenyatta, peeling for the Ana, and making sure they're safe, while you kind of just allow for Face Misk and Harmonics to go nuts.
Yeah, very true. We will see how they put up the defense coming in from Harmonics and Face Misk as University of Tennessee pushes here with a brawl comp.
Holding up here, and for the first push for the offense, this first push is not about winning fights, it's not about pushing the payload. You want the payload to get past this archway, and if you can nail that, that's really good for your team. But this is an information gathering mission. It's not often that you find teams push right out of the bat and have successful fights, and it's really difficult to contest this high ground when you don't have any mobility on your team. And University of Tennessee, stuck there in that hallway, are learning this lesson in a very bad manner, as Basher's able to take Taze out with a perfectly placed fire strike, catches him on the jump out, and that's exactly what you need, because that puts the Diva at risk, no longer in suit. There is an echo from Harmonix to try and salvage this for the Marist College. See if they can get a Graviton online quickly. It could do so, but getting taken out of that duplicate, not going to be able to have the effect they want, but still, it's like Face Mist is invisible here in the backline of this Tracer, not even being touched. Barely paid any attention, and because of that, University of Tennessee gets split, and the double bubble hybrid is going to be able to win out.
Yeah, this is not a position that you really want to be in for University of Tennessee with a very limited verticality comp that they have. You know, it's going to be a hard engagement coming in, especially since, you know, they're probably trying to get these ultimates raised up, Lucky Dog, Senate, and Bashir to be able to to be able to push on here. It looks like they are going to be going around, taking server room, which could be really beneficial, having that Mega in the room, and really forcing the fight onto their side of things for Marist College, for University of Tennessee.
Yeah, two things right now. University of Tennessee trying to get done. They need to deal with Doorknob on the D.Va so that the Deadeye can be a viable option. They also need to make sure that their McCree is safe in the backline, but they're not going to do so. Taze finds the kill and boops around a charging Reinhardt and keeps themselves at bay and alive. So back into the fight for Marist goes Taze. Alex going to have to come back from spawn with that Deadeye, and although that's not where you want to be, you're still in a pretty good position here. I mean, Marist finds themselves a really good D.Va bomb as well as the second kill on the baby D.Va, so you got to go back to spawn, but it's really a matter at this point of forcing Marist College to go after Alex and using Senate to take that Winston or that D.Va in that scenario and completely remove them from the situation.
Yeah, I thought that Lucky Dog was going to hold his grab, especially since OM just used his Transcendence. That would have been a free grab, but no, he used it on the fly, and that was a little bit of unfortunate. You know, it is all going to be with Zenith right now, able to... Oh, let's see, is he going to be able to push Taze off high ground here?
Was able to scare away the D.Va, but Monkey a little more resilient, had better positioning on that blue box, so not going to be too much of an issue. And for University of Tennessee, this is a do or die moment. They're gathered up on this high ground to kind of feint the Deadeye, while over in server room, the real Deadeye's going down, able to find 3, and this puts them into the upper hands. Up to face Misk for Marist College to dwindle this back into their favor if they can, but a D-suited D.Va is all that they've got as support, so Face Mist is gonna have to play around and find what they can. It just, nobody can do it. 4 health! 4 health, and nobody can find that final shot.
They just had to tickle him, but somebody finally did it, and both teams have quite a bit of ults coming in favor of, for both this second point here. But again, we are going to be dealing with how University of Tennessee deals with this vertical map when, you know, their competition does not allow them to really get up on those high spots that Marist College has that are just poking them from above. But, oh! Big wall coming in favor of them right now with the anti to follow up, Shidle. Wow!
I can't even be... a little bit dumbfounded there. I coming into this equation, I thought, oh, University of Tennessee, you're at such a disadvantage. It's so important for you to control the ship area and all of the space that gives you. And they just they pedal to the metal, straight to the wall. Let's go, let's get it done, and they're doing it again. Blizzard comes down to make sure that the Primal Rage is a moot point here and there. A Transcendence from will keep Marist College in the fight for a bit longer, but Powerver's there to answer with the sound barrier to get University of Tennessee back into the mix. Deadeye comes out, but isn't going to find anything due to a Winston bubble. Same with the self-destruct, but an amplification matrix in the back is going to make a good reposition for Alex on this McCree to find a couple of kills. Isn't able to secure Harmonix with the first shot, but is able to follow up with the second couple and push this payload just a little bit further for University of Tennessee. They've got 3 minutes for this second point. Oh, Doorknob. He gave it to him. He was like, I can't really contest this.
A little bit of the hello and the goodbye for my life as he reset. We've all been there before, but oh man, University of Tennessee is just proving us wrong as they are finding success with this brawl comp on a very dive-centric map like Watchpoint Gibraltar here, forcing Marist College as well on the brawl as we are approaching this third point corner with 2:30 on the clock here. Not many ults coming in favor of both teams, but here's the Nano.
Yeah, the Nano Boost going to enable Trey to Taze to get that Shatter online if they're able to use it, but a good move from University of Tennessee. They get Parvir to boost them out, wait for the Shatter for themselves, and boost them right back in. UTK doing a good job here, and I was gonna say it before this fight started, but the only time that Brawl works on this map is when you are able to 100% determine the pace and location of each of these fights.
And they're doing a great job at that, Shido. They are.
Oh, Alex making sure that the stall heroes can't come into the equation. It's going to sit on this high ground, pick them off from the freeze. What is this? The training ground. A minute 51 left for University of Tennessee on the clock as Marist is staring down the barrel of a reverse sweep. University of Tennessee with a convincing attack.
Yeah, we talked about how University of Tennessee, they had to pull out all the stops to be able to really showcase how they are a contending team, and keep them alive for potentially getting into late championships. And they are not going down easy here, as we're pretty potential reverse sweep coming in, or at least potentially maybe forcing out to a map 5. Three ticks and a minute and 51 on the clock for University of Tennessee. We will see how Marist College does, and I'm almost University of Tennessee going that same brawl comp. I'm a little curious how they're going to do this on the defending side. This could definitely be a rough one, with Marist College having the verticality and movement to be able to secure the high ground as well as continue pushing the payload. If they just poke out University of Tennessee's brawl enough, like, that could be a really that's going to be a struggling fight for University of Tennessee to counter, to deal with the dive comp.
Yeah,
Marist College. Whew.
And a real specific example of that is we're going to see very quickly. When Marist College is able to get this payload underneath that the car wash, if you will, as it used to be called, you don't have the option to contest from the high ground to the payload, so they get all of this for free unless you drop. And the second that you drop, they're able to take advantage of that with their dive composition. So the first point and second point are definitely going to be uphill battles on the defense for University of Tennessee. It's all going to come down to when do you decide to engage, and do you have your cooldowns ready to do so when that call gets thrown. And there it is, dropping down to the bottom. The call is made out. The dinner bell's been rung. Basher eating good tonight, able to find a couple of kills, bring it in for his team, and University of Tennessee proving to me and to all of you at home that they do know when to engage, and that this brawl is not just a comfort pick.
100%. They are showcasing all that practice and hours in swim time, and how they know how to play this and know it like the back of their hand. But Harmonix has that dupe coming in. We potentially could see a Reinhardt coming in, so we will see how University of Tennessee deals with this dupe coming online.
And this is the issue with the dive composition. You have no way to get up to the top to contest with them, whereas they can sit on that high ground and just dish out small amounts of damage to the rest of your team. And there's that Reinhardt you were talking about. The question is it all going to land? The fire strike's there. The Deadeye to follow, but immediately taking out the defense matrix is going to stop Alex from getting that Deadeye out and onto the field. Doorknob proving that it's not just Zarya that they're superior on, but it's the off-tank position they specialize in, as Marist continues to push this pace.
Yeah, it does look like University of Tennessee might be able to come back if they're organized enough, but it does look like they will just be giving the point to the first point to Marist College as prepare to take on the defense for this second point here. Quite a bit of ults coming in favor of them, as well as Bashir will probably be looking for that Earth Shatter coming in, probably trying to bait out Taze's shield to hopefully not block the shatter.
And we didn't really point this out. That's the first time that we saw these teams come to the second point, but the importance of the airship position is something that I really cannot stress enough. If you have possession of the airship, you have possession of this entire area. So good on University of Tennessee to take that positioning early and force Marist College into a situation where they're going to have to fight for that advantageous position.
Yeah, 100%. But they have the ults to probably push onto the advantageous position. Doorknob having that bomb that could really force those folks off the airship. So we have some ults that could be really space taking, an advantage, which would be an advantage for Marist College. So we will see. Hopefully they don't use them in one fight though. That is what they definitely can't do. or else this will be pretty advantageous for University of Tennessee.
Yeah, and ult economy at this elo is a vital. You know, using one ultimate to win a fight is kind of the holy grail of the situation. And using an ultimate to no avail, kind of the exact opposite. So Harmonix is gonna have to commit the Echo as well. The Shatter comes down from Basher and is able to deter the push once again. And it looks like Ulm is going to go ahead and commit this Transcendence so they get a little bit of extra space. But a Graviton from Lucky Dog was just in wait. You've got to know that Zarya still has that ultimate online and is ready for you and waiting. Maris now really just relying on Taze to get something into the backline as a consolation, but going to have to hop and hit back to spawn, feel a little bit of ultimate over to Ulm on this Lucio, and hopefully get a sound barrier well on its way.
Yeah, especially since Zenith has that Blizz coming online, and Marist College really looking a bit dry here with only Vocal having that Nano. That could be a really, utilizing the Nano on Taze could be a good engagement for Marist College to push on here. We are at 2:15 and counting down, but as you said, Scheidel, Ohm really needs to get this, this beat online because quite a bit of ults are coming in for University of Tennessee, which could be, could hold this defense that they need right now.
Yeah, this would be a mid-fight queue, but the beautiful anti-name coming through from Vocal is going to put the charge on Fleek from Marist College. But it's not going to matter as they get a little bit of greedy with their dive, trying to take Alex out of the fight. They're going to lose Taze. Still able to secure the kill onto the McCree and put it down to a 5v5. The Shatter comes through in a pulse bomb to answer the pulse bomb, finding two from Face Miskin, opening the door for Marist College here and now. Another big anti-nade from Vocal, who's not just being a support, but a supportive person, able to find themselves a couple of extra bits of damage, if you will. And that was actually a big Maywall from Zenith. There were a few members of University of Tennessee that were going to get caught out right then and there, and the Maywall allowed them to escape.
Yeah, great Maywall coming in from Zenith as we are getting to the third point, which will be a lot more advantageous for University of Tennessee's composition, forcing Marist College as well to go off to that Brawl comp. University of Tennessee is looking pretty as they have the ult advantage with Marist College, recent swap. Ohm is the only one that has that beat it is all about him and the supports keeping the team alive as they hopefully sustain the barrage of ults coming in from University of Tennessee.
And a masterful wall comes out from Zenith, squeaks it behind the wall that Harmonix put up that kind of took Basher out of the fight, rose Basher up, and allowed him to walk over so he was no longer in an exploitable spot. But that's not going to stop the Graviton from coming out from Lucky Dog as the Shatter from Basher is now online once again, and he's looking for the opportunity to use it. The Graviton is able to squeak out Ohm's sound barrier and puts the speed on for Marist College, but that's exactly what Tennessee's waiting for. The Shatter, while they least expect it, the kills, while they least want it. University of Tennessee leading the charge on the defense with 1 minute and 35 seconds left to hold.
Minute and 35 of Marist College have already raised those alts that were just at 0% to almost 100% coming online, and those are some game-winning ultimates coming online with Harmonix Blizz, Tails Shatter, and Doorknob's Grab. So if the team is able to get these big ultimates and follow up with them, that could definitely be a third point right now. So it's all up to Travis and Young Man with sustaining and healing the team up through this project.
What a wall! Harmonix able to lift Face Mist over the opposing Maywall, over the shield, and open it up for the Deadeye to get not only a big pick, but a crucial couple of kills there. I mean, that's Marist College. Turn to your buddies, message Face Mist, say thank you.
Yes.
Because that's the whole reason you just got that point.
And that is what they needed, and oh man, that is everything that Marist College asked for to get to this, to get to third point. They needed a team wipe, and that allowed them to really clean up the fight. 1 minute and counting, 1 minute on the clock for them to get this, to see how far they push this point. So we will see how, actually, we know that they will be going with that, the dive comp coming in. We will see, knowing that University of Tennessee is going to go with that Brawl comp if Marist College changes their strategy a little bit more, changes the their dime a bit, knowing that University of Tennessee just has this really strong support line, keeping the team alive even throughout these dives that Marist College are putting on them.
And for this one, for me, if you're University of Tennessee, this is a really difficult choice. You have to bring something to the table, and this might just be it. They're getting sneaky. But with this brawl composition, with just a minute left for Marist, you can't allow them to use that dive composition. You have to force them to brawl you, pretty much.
And they want to burn that time down, especially if it's only a minute. So if they are able to burn the time down with holding close, that is ideally what they want.
Well, the anti-nade comes through big to start things off, and going to force the immortality field out from Young Man. Nobody really paying attention to face miss here in the backline on this Tracer. And that's not only just going to lead to a big pulse bomb, but could lead to a couple more unfortunate results as well. And Alex getting pardoned off there has to go back to spawn. And only 3 members of University of Tennessee sitting here and lie in wait for this first point stall. If you can get first point for Marist College, you can hold easy.
Yeah, 100%. It is all up if they're able to get this first point here. I really like the positioning coming in. They're just being patient as they're waiting for the dive. Here it is. Shittle is muted, and we are going into overtime right now. We are under here. University of Tennessee is doing a great job at holding this right now, getting Doorknob out of that mech, and Nano on to Harmonix. Oh my god, will they be? It looks like they are holding this down as they're just doing some cleanups here. Taze and Harmonix looking right now to get these picks, but no, Young Man coming in with the picks coming in from the Baptiste, and here it is, very close hold under where our car wash area is, Shidle. Oh man.
And that's not an area that you usually see the dive composition get engaged. Most times on this map, the payload kind of smooths through that unless you're facing a brawl. So I don't think Marist College really expected that second fight to be as strong for the University of Tennessee as it was.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that, holding closer threw them off a little bit, but University of Tennessee just did a great job at, holding that tempo that they grew themselves at an advantage right now, really taking control of the tempo of the fights.
Ready for battle.
And making Marist College meet them where their composition benefits them, which is right underneath. So great hold coming in from University of Tennessee, and they only have a minute and 56. They have a lot of time to get it down to car wash. So we will see how they push out here.
Yeah, and I really do like what Marist College has to the table, because their whole point and their whole composition is not to lose a fight. Everybody fights super close. You've got the shield from the Orisa to make sure that there isn't errant damage from the long-range hit scan or the icicles that's going to get into your backline. You've got the Brig who's swinging away next to the Orisa and with the Reinhardt. The Reaper who's just up in their face. The question is if University of Tennessee is going to be able to adapt on the fly when they see, if they see what's coming. They've already kind of weaseled out where they are. So they've got the information now. They see the composition. They see the double shield. And they know they can contest from here. So eventually we are going to have to go into this area with them. But the sidelines being controlled by Marist College right now. Face Miss looking for an opportunity on this Reaper to either teleport to the back before they can see, or get themselves a little bit of extra damage. They're going straight in, but a very aggressive flashbang comes through from Alex into the back. Tay is able to find the charge onto Senate and take the May out of the fight, but they lose their Brig in the process, and the Reinhardt for University of Tennessee bites the dust. That's going to allow for Marist to be a little bit more aggressive with their positioning, and with only a minute left, University of Tennessee, you need to get out and get back. You've got ults working. You just need this payload to get a little bit further.
They really need to get that first pick, and we need to see a wall coming in from Zenith at least. Potentially picking out one, getting the pick there, and then pushing on to the others. And they really need a big pick like, a main tank or doorknob. So we will see.
And there's a good start.
Yeah.
Oh, not only that, but they got the Maywall that they needed onto Taze. Taze is gonna go down, but a Maywall in response comes up. It's not gonna have the impact that it needs for Marist College. However, as University of Tennessee continues to find the kills they need to put this to a 2-2 and continue their dreams of a reverse sweep as they take Watch Point Gibraltar. The University of Tennessee may be the new kid on the block, and they may not have come out swinging, but they're not going down easy.
Oh no, they are not. They're showcasing that why they won against University of Arlington, that is ranked number 2. And we're really they're really showcasing how much they want this right now. Especially since they need this win. You know, we talked about it right before Hanamura that they need these map wins to be able to raise that win percentage. And they're doing exactly that. We are headed into the last control map of the night, which will be Lijiang Tower for the 2. So we will see. Marist came out top with the last control map of Oasis. So we'll see as we enter Lijiang.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the match that became the barn burner. Marist College versus University of Tennessee, the new kid on the block coming in against one of the top 3 teams in our entire league. And not only holding their own, but we talked about it a little bit on the break, bringing an element to the table that we don't think Marist College was quite ready for.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think, you know, Marist College, they are one of our top 10 ranking teams in the series. So I'm sure that, you know, looking at UTK, you know, being number 17 on the rankings, they were probably expecting another, another game under the wind belt. But no, UTK coming in strong and really showcasing that even though they're a new team, they have a lot of fight in them. And so I'm pretty excited as we are heading to Lijiang. We were just chatting about it on the break, and I'm curious what the first map of Lijiang will be. We've seen how, it is Gardens. You know, especially seeing how Marist College has that coordination with their dive. This could definitely be a little bit more advantage for Marist College, especially seeing that University of Tennessee continues to go out with that brawl comp.
And if there's anywhere I'd get my Hammond, it would be here, but based on what I've seen out of these two teams, I don't think we're going to be seeing that. And I think Marist, we talked a little bit about how University of Tennessee coming into this competition new and sticking to this brawl is a bit strange, as the majority of the top teams in the league and in both conferences, you know, respectively, run that double bubble very, very often. So it becomes a who can run that better. But University of Tennessee has just been brawl throughout this match, and I feel like they've kind of forced Marist to play it. Like Marist, this is a map that they play double bubble on.
But they're forcing it. They're forcing their hand on what they want right now for Tennessee.
And that time Marist was able to get to the point just a little bit quicker. And because of that, you know, they took the bridge route, which does get you to the point a fraction of a second earlier than if you go all the way around to the white room. You're not in position. The Maywall goes up, the charge comes through, you lose your Reinhardt, you can't help him. It's a sad day. Sad day indeed.
Sad day coming in, and we will see. It is all up to Alex right now to really control and counter Face Mist's Doomfist coming in. That could really put a little bit of trouble coming in for the back line of Javier and Youngman. But the wall comes out immediately. Thankfully, Bashir does back up a little bit to sustain for the team. Oh,
It is mere centimeters before that wall, before he got kind of walled off, but luckily able to walk behind, and this time they're the ones that are up on the Reinhardt battle, but they lose their May in the mix. Emerald will be able to take that pick up his lucky dog. Able to take Harmonix out of the fight, but Harmonix still able to commit the Blizzard, so UTK not only winning the fight, but they're also to come and dry and take out that ultimate. Shatter online for Taze, and he's looking for revenge. Able to lay that down, and the Immortality Field comes through the charge. Oh! How does Taze live through that?
wow! Wow!
I don't get that possible.
Fall off. Oh my goodness! And it does look like they are going to be cleaning up here for Marist College. Killing Zenith on the bat, only getting 20% on the point for University of Tennessee. But with that dry push came a blossom of a lot of ults coming in from University of Tennessee. But Marist College has the infinite Space Jam with Doorknob's grab, and Face Mist is Duke Slam coming online. So it is all up to Young Man and Paviar to be able to build up this beat or to have the Immortality ready and available for that coming through.
And you can see that University of Tennessee really wanted to be aggressive in this fight. They kind of ignored that May wall going into it and paid the price. Alice gets taken down. Space Jam takes care of her out of the fight as the sound barrier comes online, and the punch as well to follow. Able to knock a couple out. And I don't know how Lucky Dog got that high up in the air, but they went for a ride. And they'll be coming back with ultimates.
Yeah, they are coming back with quite a bit of ultimates, but Emerald has a beat ready and available for a Lucky Dog's grab coming in, but it is going to be a matter of which all that Emerald will be defending the team from, because University of Tennessee has all but Sennis Blizz. So, oh, and there's the wall coming off.
There goes the shatter from Basher. Able to open it up, but a Blizzard coming through from Harmonix is going to make it difficult for University of Tennessee to utilize that grab and follow up with the damage. So Marist College just really be playing it patiently here, and I want you to look at their ult economy and think of it as pairs. You see Taze and Doorknob and Face Mask all just over halfway, or soon to be halfway, to their ultimates, while the other three members of Marist College all on 0%. That's the kind of staggering of ultimates that's needed in a control point battle in order to win, just because there is no spawn advantage. You have to have ult advantage.
You are so true. And we are, you were so right. And we are coming up on Control Center. Hopefully we see a little bit more of a fight coming in from University of Tennessee. This is definitely an infamous area with this brawling map, but Lucky Dog changing it on us with going with the Diva instead. You know, against a very high charge Zarya and Harmonix on the Symmetra. That could be, I'm questioning the choice of Diva coming on control map or control point.
I'm okay with it here for University of Tennessee, as it gives you a little bit of an option. The issue is going to be that Harmonix stuck with the Symmetra. It wasn't just an out of spawn strategy, so you have two beam weapons on the field that are going to cause that Diva. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final match of the evening. We have Wichita State University, personal favorite of mine, no bias, facing off against Siena College here in our final matchup. And this is really a test of Siena College. They're currently sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. But in my opinion, just means there's room for improvement.
Oh, and I'm definitely gonna guess that after this match against the top 6 team, Wichita State, they're definitely going to have quite a bit to review. And I'm also excited to see, they've played Wichita State in the season, so maybe they've learned from those past matches how they can really tackle that attack and defense coming into this week of maps.
Yeah, and we're going to be starting, speaking of maps, we're going to be starting out on Oasis, and you've already kind of seen the progression of how things go, but we've got Oasis, Kings Row, and Hanamura as our first 3 maps, and if we need to go into a 4th and a 5th, we've got Gibraltar and Lijiang Tower lined up, and if I'm going to be completely honest, coming out the gate for Sienna, you have to come out strong.
Mm-hmm. Sienna has something to prove right now that even though they're the last, their last ranking, they can still take a map coming up from Wichita. So we will see if they're able to prove their point, or if Wichita State just comes in, and really states that they are in that number 6 ranking for a reason, and take all 3 maps. So we will see what Sienna has for tonight's matchup. But Oasis, again, we talked about it last time around. I really love the control maps. They just really offer different environments to be able to see what the teams have for those various comps. And looks like we are going to be heading off to University first, which is typically more that brawl comp. So we will see if they choose that, or if they want to go for that double bubble route, or one of those other team compositions that we've seen tonight.
And one of the players to look out for in chat and there at home, Flexecution. And I want to point out, it's Flexecution with an E, not an I. I know that he's very adamant about the spelling of his name, so I want to make sure that everybody knows exactly how it's done, because he's going to show you how it's done here on the DPS. A fantastic DPS pickup for Wichita State University, and has time after time proven why they deserve to be on this team. As far as Sienna College goes, really, as much as I don't want to say the name on stream, look out for Pusak. The Zenyatta for Sienna College doing a lot of work on that support role, and I expect to be a heavy hitter here in this matchup. But you see the difference in compositions come out immediately. Wichita State wants to run a hybrid brawl, so they put the Lucio and the D.Va into the mix, and they're able to be really quick in how they reposition. Able to work around that initial wall, find themselves a couple of kills, and Fluffy but Deadly gets the swing onto Seth as they go into the charge. And Wichita State taking this first point and having control.
Oh man, yeah, they're taking first point and already at a shatter coming in from Fluffy Budley. So we will see how Sienna College really hopefully withstands that shatter coming in. They don't really have the support lineup to have that defense coming in. Either the Lucio boost to try to push you out, or so it is all going to be up to Sethri to be able to block this coming in.
Also going to be a lot of weight on CJ Paul. You need that Junkrat to break down Fluffy but Deadly's shield, but it's going to be a difficult task to do when your Reinhardt's caught on the top of a wall on the other side of another wall, and now they've got the go-ahead to press W straight into your team. The Shatter comes down, but the bubble blocks. Ace able to take that ultimately off the table, and Wichita State University in a bit of a blunder, put into a tight spot they need to recover. CJ Paul back to spawn with the tire, and it looks like Fluffy but Deadly keeping their presence here at this double door, able to keep Sienna College from really finding any true purchaser space onto the point. The hammer goes down from Sethri and does get blocked, but the kills for Wichita State continuing to come through. Nobody expecting for Dynamite and Seed to be on such a weird angle.
Yeah, oh man, Dynamite coming in with the flanky McCree, getting those key picks needed from Nourishment. Just really, when you're down that main support, it is really a tough fight coming in. So another reset coming in for Sienna College, but they have quite a bit of ults coming in. Both DPS ults on the line, which could be major if they're able to get a big Blizz or even a initial tire picks. Oh.
Yeah, the big Blizz gonna turn into a big snap for Kellic there. Gonna eat that up pretty well. CJ trying to get something done with the Rip Tire, but has to wait for the Immortality Field to get dealt with, and in that time, Dynamite able to single out where the tire is and take it out of contention completely as Wichita State continues to control this. And, you know, for Wichita State, this is a stat pattern if you want it. You can push this up to 6. You get a tie with UT Arlington in that second place spot for the independent conference standings and push yourself into a almost secure position when it comes to the championships down the line.
Yeah, 100%. And so Wichita State is really looking to, get some clean games. They are not looking to mess around as they take this first map of Oasis of University, but we are going to head over to Gardens. I'm excited to see what they have coming into play here. We're actually going the double bubble with Siena College. So we will see if this allows them to, Sethri maybe go into the back line, taking out Creed or Foxycon. So maybe this will be the change up in composition that Siena College needs to get that initial pick to get control of that point.
And you've got nothing to lose at this point. You're not really currently fighting for a championship spot for Siena. You're really just trying to get some stuff working so that when it comes down to the championships that we have on the weekend to get into the finals, you have more of a chance to kind of bring a surprise factor to the table. But Wichita State University not looking to be a surprise factor, just kind of a press W factor. They get their Reinhardt enabled and allow for Gil and Fluffy to just kind of walk forward, and it makes so much space that Dynamite and Flexecution are able to capitalize.
Yeah, especially with the support lineup that Wichita State has. Creed really enabling the team with a lot of the hills coming in from Moira Pick, and Foxycon allowing, Fluffy but Deadly to move in and out with the advantage of having that speed on the clock, or speed ability on there. Siena College is just really looking for a pick, but no, already having to reset with Pusod getting that first click from the Moira ball. Oh, look.
You can see Siena not wanting to give up the position, the small amount of space that they were able to take before the Zenyatta got knocked out. But look at the systematic movement from Wichita State. The Winston comes onto the high ground, it gets moved off, and Gil is already dropping to the low ground so that the Winston can't utilize line of sight to get healing and continue to pressure that monkey.
Yeah, they are doing a great job really playing patient right now, Wichita State, allowing the dive to come to them and even making Siena College switch off back to the Reinhardt instead of the Winston. But so many ults are coming online for Wichita State, so we will see if they're able to sustain for Siena.
And Wichita State right now smells blood in the water. They know that they're vulnerable without their Reinhardt. The Shatter, an easy throw through. And Wichita State should be able to clean this fight up. And if they position themselves here at this door, it could be all but over for Siena College here in Oasis. They haven't been able to find themselves any real purchase into the point. And this composition from Wichita State University, it's literally built to punish what Siena College was bringing to the table. I wish we'd seen Seth bring onto the Reinhardt a little bit earlier.
I agree. The Reinhardt would have been a lot better of a contending team composition coming up against Wichita State, but Nourishment, she has that nano coming online, so hopefully Sethri's able to do something with that.
And another eat! Gil eating their second ultimate of the game. 1 point, 1 ultimate seems to be the motto for the Diva for Wichita State University, but Siena College will not get to touch the point here on Oasis, not getting a single tick of percentage across both maps, and looking at an uphill battle as we go into 2 and 3.
Ooh, and you know what? I do love to see a good old support play the game coming in favor of Creed right here, showing the Moira and the coalescence that really allowed them to, keep pushing on this fight here. But we are going to head over to Kings Row next time around, so hopefully we see a little bit more of a defense hold coming in from Siena College on Kings Row. But Wichita State University is just... they are playing clean, even with that last fight. Even though they were really up in the ultimates, really controlled play, only utilizing those ults as needed, not a barrage of 6 ults coming at a time. Even with that last fight, only utilizing the I want to say the grab, and that was it. So very clean, controlled fights. So we will see how Siena College takes it off onto Kings Row as they attack first, I believe.
Yes, they will be attacking first when it comes to Kings Row. And for Wichita State University, this is kind of a dream situation. When it comes to Kings Row, defending first allows you to set a win condition, as well as determine how well can this team navigate this map and what kind of pace can they bring to the table?
Definitely. I'm sure Wichita State is looking to really put up a very high defensive comp right now. Especially showcasing that, they are the top 6 team for a reason. But Siena College, excuse me. I'm hoping that we do see a little bit more of a cleaner engagement coming in. We had some moments of success getting some picks, but not a whole lot of clean fights. There was a lot of trickling. So maybe this time around, we have more clean engagements as a group instead of half engagements with one person down, and putting those valuable ults into that.
Yeah, being able to get those ult synergies online is an imperative part of playing the game at this level. And it's something that the WSU squad has had a lot of practice doing so together. I mean, this is a squad that's played in tournaments across the board, with mainstay members. And when you have a squad that does that, you have built relationships between your players to the point where, Flexecution knows what Dynamite's going to do. He knows where that McCree is going to be rotating. He knows what sight lines Dynamite can cover. And thus, as the May, able to kind of mitigate other opportunities that Siena College may be able to exploit. Siena College, however, it doesn't look like that kind of unspoken synergy has come to the table just yet, and it's something that a lot of teams struggle to create and kind of cultivate. So Siena College, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the ultimates land together a little bit more. I'd like to see cooldowns spent in tandem for a collective purpose a little bit more, and less of the let's play the composition that we've had, and hopefully each one of us can do our best.
Yeah, no, I completely agree here. As we are pressing those W keys right now, the walls get pushed out here.
Yeah, that first wall, a bit of a bait. Didn't want to get them at the beginning of the choke, because that way they don't use any utility. If you wait a little bit longer, they use a little bit of utility. You have the May at an off angle, get the wall in, and then the Reinhardt's able to walk straight through.
Yeah, and the difference in both of these comps is, the DPS line with CJ Paul on the Reaper, but also Nurseman on the Mercy. A little bit more, definitely lower healing output coming in from Siena College, so we will see how they're able to sustain with that low healing output.
Once again, caught into a tricky position between two May walls. Not a rock and a hard place, but a wall and a cold place. Fluffy but Deadly and Foxicon both able to find themselves a couple of kills. And the Mercy just not going to fall into a good spot. Able to find their kill there once again, and Shatter's online, as well as almost every single ultimate from the team.
All the ults are ready for use almost for Wichita State University, and Siena College still does not have that beat. That is definitely going to be needed as we have a barrage of ults coming in, but thankfully they were able to bait out the wall.
A big play there, but the issue is that the push didn't depend on the wall. It depended on the distraction that the wall creates. So Fluffy but Deadly and the rest of the team from Wichita State University still able to capitalize on how quickly the stop went through.
And we talked about it last time, but now every ult in the book is ready for use on Wichita State, except for Foxycon's beat. But hopefully Nourishment utilizes this Valkyrie as an engagement for Siena State and blue teaming the team.
Oh, and a big pick from Seed to start things off. Ace almost had an opening for the rest of Siena, but wasn't able to securely get themselves into position. Shatter will go down from Ace as 2 kills for Siena College come through. Wichita State members dwindling on point and getting into a bit of a tight spot. Fluffy but Deadly still has the Shatter online and wins the Rhine battle, which means they win the point. The rest of the members of Siena College already being sent back to spawn. Siena College, only with that Blizzard to offer, comes into the next fight with 1 minute and 20 seconds left.
They are very close to the grab, so the grab Blossom could be those win conditionings that we are always talking about here. Only coming under a minute with only the defense, and that is not going to be a great pick in favor of Siena College for this push.
No, Siena losing Veigar at the very early there. It means that they have to play gingerly. They don't have a lot of time, so they still have to play aggressively, which means there's indecision. You saw half the team go past the statue, ignoring the Reinhardt and allowing Fluffy but deadly access to the backline.
Oh man, yeah, and you definitely do not want to give him access as he will just swing his heart out, as he has been, and potentially shatter. But you know what? We have all the alts in the book for Siena College, so hopefully, the use of combining these alts will be able to allow them to cap point.
Oh no, the grab goes out and Gil eats another ultimate. That's the third one. Count them, ladies and gentlemen. And even though they've got their Reaper into a good spot, presumably, that Wraith form is going to have to be used to get out. And the question is, can you get past the Blizzard? No, you can't. It's a little too cold. Need yourself a campfire.
But we are in last fight territory with both teams having the ult economies in the world. Oh, unfortunate pick initially phrased.
Yeah, that Shadow gonna get sent back to spawn. The sound barrier to get the team onto the point, but Dynamite having a bit of a different story to tell. He's like, I don't even know what book you're reading. This is not what's gonna be going down. The Death Blossom on point from CJ Paul. Still not gonna find any kills. An Immortality Field comes out just at the Ire's sight line as they came through, which did not allow for Veigar to get anything done on the Mei themselves. That's gonna take the point.
And it's just really allowed them to push forward. Already the wall was big.
Oh, hi there. How you doing? Shadow24 and Tropic Theory here at EGF to bring you the action. We've got Wichita State University facing off against Siena College right now, and we did preface this at the beginning. Siena College currently in the 19th slot in the league, whereas Wichita State sitting up there at a comfortable 6th position. Showing in the scoreline, but not over yet for Siena College. We're going to 2CP, where the surprise factor can come into play, and it's, in my opinion, one of the few things that Siena College does have going for themselves right now is that they tend to try and throw a kink into the mix here or there.
And you know, I actually like that. It is definitely fun to see, and hopefully it works out. I mean, just like in our last map, it was a 0-2 coming up with, and University of Tennessee swept the reverse sweep coming in. So maybe this will be. Maybe this will be Siena's chance to do that same reverse sweep. Who knows? We will see. But Hanamura, they will be going on the attack first. So I'm thinking that we will see a Symmetra coming out. You know, they, which I mean, maybe that's just, I'm just wanting that because, you know, I enjoy a good Symmetra teleporter.
Let's see what they're gonna bring to the table. With Siena on the attack first, there's a lot of pressure on them at every obstacle that they come to. When you defend first, you get to look at the pace, what the team's bringing, how they want to approach these really defined choke points here on Hanamura. But at the same time, attacking first means if you don't get X amount of the first point, they only have to get less. If you don't get X amount of the second point, they only have to get a little less. Yeah. So for Wichita State, they're trying to set this up for a quick 3-0, get in, get out, go home, go to sleep, and walk away with an extra notch on their record.
Yeah, so we will see if Siena College is able to, you know, push just a little bit further than what Wichita State wants, which is that 3-0.
And an interesting decision to go with the Hanzo when it comes to this teleport strategy that they're going to be looking to execute, because the Hanzo in close quarter is not going to be as effective. as they were if you were to utilize some long sight lines. So the teleporter goes down and they're working hard to destroy it, and a beautiful flashbang comes through from Dynamite to kind of harshen the team up and allow for Fluffy but Deadly to get the work done on point finding 2. The Reinhardt and the Hanzo down for Sienna College. Ace and Viger back to spawn. It's going to be up to the rest of the members to get them back into the fight. They are able to find a couple of kills here and there, specifically onto Gel's suit, but other than that, the rest of the members of Wichita State University still up and online and able to keep the defense alive.
Oh man, yeah, keeping the defense alive, and Creed already with that window coming in. Dynamite really close as well to that high noon. We are still keeping the same for Sienna College here. Viger really trying to burn that shield down, but like Scheidel said, maybe not the best choice for, for especially for the damage output. You got a Hanzo and a Symmetra compared to a Kree and Mei. Maybe not the best damage output, especially since you don't have that grab to tie in with the infamous dragon grab.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about how these Symmetra strategies are really they're a one shot. It's very difficult to make this an effective push multiple times as they become predictable once you've already brought them to the table. That gravitic flux, it grabs one, but you're gonna have Foxicon back into this fight extremely quickly, and you still have yet to deal with Dynamite's Deadeye or Flexecution on this Mei. And with that, enabling Fluffy but Deadly, it's just the story of the Reinhardt that could. The kill's finally coming through for Sienna College. It looks like Wichita State got some unfortunate moments there. CJ Paul came through huge on the Symmetra. So I'm sorry, Sienna College. I doubted the Symmetra, but I didn't doubt you, CJ.
Oh yeah, CJ really capping it here with that Symmetra. I'm curious if he will be changing or not. Only 20% in counting. But we will see as they cap this first point. 4:40 on the clock and counting down, and they have Ace with that shatter, which it looks. Oh no!
And Kella giving us a bit of a masterclass in the boosters there. Kella gave it a fine that opening kill. That was beautiful.
That was, what you expect for Lucio, but nope. I do love that Diva gets the boop in the end with those boosters. Whew. Wow, but Wichita University having all the ults in the world, but Creed almost having that window online, and Sienna State only having that shatter. So we will see if they decide to do a dry fight, really raising those ults and potentially baiting out Wichita State. But pick already on Viger.
Yeah, and Viger just wasn't aware that the Diva was sitting on that high ground as they came through, so it didn't really have any chance to rebuttal, but the shatter comes through from Ace. But a lot of ultimates still online for Wichita State University. You have 6 ultimates. This is kind of a waiting game. You don't want to kill them two separate, or they can come back and stagger all that you want. What you want to do is kill as many of them as quickly as possible. So you're able to find those 2 kills coinciding, but the rest of your team's still not really into the picture. Don't use ults unless you have to.
Yeah. 100%. I was disappointed to see Ace utilizing that shatter off the bat, especially probably knowing that they had so many ults on the line and ready to use. It would have been a smart strategy to try to bait out some of those. But we still have 3 minutes and counting down for Sienna College to take the second point, and Sethri has that flux. We need to see a big flux and potential combination of Viger's Dragons to get a full team kill right now. Getting the full team kill is going to be very important.
An interesting approach to teleport to the high ground almost immediately to abandon it. Didn't find any advantageous positioning there, trying to set up their Hanzo a little bit, but Viger immediately got out positioned and zoned from the position that he was taking. So Sienna College are going to have to go back to the drawing board. We've seen Wichita State University now commit 3 of the 6 ultimates they had online, while Sienna College have kind of just been building and saving their ult bank themselves.
Yeah, they have a lot of ults coming into this next fight, and great combinations coming in as well. So we will see how they're able to, if they're able to utilize all 5 ults to cap the second point, especially since this will be free. Foxicon utilized that beat last round, and if we bait out Creed's immortality, that could be really beneficial for Sienna's push with all these ultimates.
Gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Maywall is there, and nobody looking for Kellic. And if you try and commit a dragon down the middle, or if you're not paying attention to this Diva, they're gonna eat another ultimate of yours. There goes their Gravitic Flux, looking for the dragon, but not gonna find it. Veigar is taken out of the fight by Kellic, so not necessarily eating the ultimate, but shutting down the potential for it completely. The kills coming through for Siena College. CJ Paul once again on the Symmetra, getting work done with a high charge beam and a Mercy on their back. CJ still looking to get this Lucio, isn't able to secure the kill as the respawns come through for Wichita State University, and with a Doomfist now into the mix for Dynamite, the insta-pick potential for Wichita State has spiked through. Execution able to take Pusak out of the equation as Ace gets their counterpart Fluffy but Deadly, and the Dragons go down the middle. But Siena College doing little more than zoning with this ultimate. Aren't going to be able to find any fruition onto the point and have only captured 58.5%. But it's more than nothing.
Yeah, definitely more than nothing, and I guess that is what 5 ults caps ya. With Nourishment, she almost has that nano, so that could hopefully be a good initiation ult for this as we are approaching last fight territory. But throughout that fight, Wichita State has already gotten quite a bit of ults online, as well as Dynamite, who just switched over as we were getting into stall wars. And so we have a potential for that slam, which could be so deadly for that backline, especially for somebody like Nourishment, who is, a sitting Ana.
And Nourishment looking to get this nano boost off onto Ace as they move down to point. But they're not able to get anywhere with the freeze coming through from Flexecution. 2 members down now for Wichita State University, but it's a difficult push to fight back for Siena College. Seth3 is going to commit the Gravitic Flux to try and get something done on the high ground, is able to find Seeds to the Baptiste. Going to be sent back to spawn, but the sound barrier from Foxicon going to keep the tanks alive while the DPS come back from spawn, and Dynamite has the strike he needs to finish it here and now. Able to find Nourishment out, as well as Viger gets the baby Diva out of the equation. Fluffy hits the Shatter, but doesn't land anything. So now it's up to Dynamite to preemptively hit the Meteor Strike, tries to predict the Mercy's path, doesn't find it. The Sigma, however, definitely found. Semester onto the high ground to continue to stall a little bit for CJ Paul and the rest of Siena College, but it's going to be Wichita State University securing the second point defense and only giving up 58.5%.
58.5. We will see if that is enough for, Siena College to potentially start this reverse sweep process. But Wichita State is looking like it's set up pretty well. Really denying Siena State that second cap point. And just, they will have a lot of time to hopefully get 58%. Like Shidel said, I doubt that we probably will see the Symmetra play coming into here, as it looks like Wichita State just really does such a wonderful job at calling out the cooldowns for that the Siena State uses, and then just really pushing W once those important cooldowns are off. But we're looking with a little bit of a cheesy comp with Viger on the Bastion.
Okay, Sienna, I see you.